state recognized by 139 UN members, but a lot of the world still doesn't like observe it as an actual like country.
So
So
it's
it's
kind of like,
because like their border keeps fluctuating because of this conflict with Israel.
but they're like where they're at right now.
They've been there
What
forever.
country is it?
Palestine.
Palestine. So
It's
the
a
whole
state.
country, the state, is all Palestine,
Hmm.
and Israel is kind of like within, and they're like we're expanding it within.
It's like so you have the Gaza Strip, and it's like it's weird. It's like here's the majority of Palestine,
Mm.
and then like Israel's with it, and then there's this little spot over here called the Gaza Strip that
Yeah.
they kind of both share.
So you
It's
cross
like
the road.
it's like if Israel and Palestine were like this, like they're kind of like hands, and they kind of mold together. And then there's like a little sliver over here that's still considered Palestine because it's part of the Gaza Strip.
Mm.
It's it's really weird, dude, and it's I don't know because that region is just so
Conflictive.
yeah because they're all they all kind of go after the Jews because you got Egypt right there, you got Saudi Arabia right there, you got Jordan right there.
Well, when you come down to it, they're fighting what over religion, basically, right?
Just different beliefs.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't understand why. Well, they're fanatical, obviously, because they're like, "Oh, my God's better than your God," and that kind of shit. Which I've had, I guess you'd call them friends or old friends that were kind of like devout, which I would question, because I'm like, I don't know what I am. I was raised Catholic, but I'm not like
Yeah,
full blown like whipping myself in the back every time I beat off or something like, oh, I sinned.
man,
No, I don't do shit
your
like
back
that.
would be fucking destroyed.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't have a back.
Like just
My
just
back would have been gone at 12. Anyway,
preemptive strike. We're just gonna take care of this now.
the
Why? Oh, it's gonna be a lonely weekend.
years are gonna come by. Anyway, but like I would have friends who were like, one of them was like kind of didn't know where he landed, and then he became a Jehovah's Witness, and he'd kind of push that agenda a little bit on everybody, and like one or two people were like, oh, okay, and me, I was just the guy that was listening, and I'm like, okay, but why is this and that, and then like another buddy was he was Catholic, and he would like, and they would bicker, like
Oh yeah.
real bicker, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like I'm watching a war.
Well, dude, religion is a very touchy subject to a lot of people,
I
man. I
know
mean,
that, but that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so religious, and they're like pieces of shit,
hmm
and that's why I'm just like, why can't everybody just? It's gonna sound corny as fuck, but it's like, why
why
can't
can't everybody
everybody
get
just get
along?
along?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're Christian, you know, Catholic and Christian are not identical.
No.
There's differences in the religion. They kind of
Well, I was
derive
I
from the
was
same,
I was
but
raised Catholic,
yeah.
and I backed away from Catholicism and just
Did a priest touch you?
agreed no
Did you get that
agreed
ad?
and just agreed to Christianity. I believe in God and all the other things that come with it, but I felt like being raised Catholic, like Catholicism made me feel bad. Made me feel bad for being here.
Well, that's the thing, and it's
They're like,
like,
yeah, it's your fault that or Jesus died because of you. And like mass
no, no, no. Those were the Jewish
yeah.
people. They
And it's
killed
just
them.
like, it just made you feel terrible. Like, man, if it wasn't for me, this dude would still be around.
But see, it's not even that. It's like you saw Dogma, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably like one of the best explanations to like religion, like broken into a comedy movie. Like I love that movie. It's awesome because you got two rogue angels
Hmm.
on Earth, and they're like dissuading people from being religious because they're like, we actually know God, and
Yeah.
like Ben Affleck was like, he's an asshole. He kicked us out because we didn't want to kill. He's the one telling us to kill, and it's like a conundrum where you're like, wait, man, these guys, what the fuck?
Mhm.
It confuses you. Obviously, it's a comedy, and you're supposed to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But it's still funny because Matt Damon's like telling the nun like, oh, and he's going off all the fables in the Bible, and the nun's all like, what have I been doing with my life? And he's like, you know what? You should take that money from the collection plate or from like her charity, like donations or whatever. He's like, why don't you go buy yourself a nice dress? Go find a good man, a good woman, even. So it's like all those things are kind of like, why are people fighting? It's like You can believe whatever you want to believe. I can believe whatever I want to believe.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing, dude. I mean, you can go back even to the times of the Crusades.
Yeah.
They were all fighting over the same thing.
Right. But this, like, from from that point of view, I think it was more like a military strategy to be like, we need to conquer this because this is important to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Not
Well, dude, you just
necessarily.
you just think about it, like when during whatever one of the Crusades when the Christians took over the Holy Land. Like I would want to look and see like what is the boom of Christianity spread through Europe.
Because that happened during Crusades were what 1300s
I
ish.
believe so. Yes.
That's as early as they
Yeah.
register,
But
something
like,
like
so
that.
think about that. So you have, the first Crusades go through, they win, they control Christianity. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so the first one looks like it was
Is
1095.
that when they were killing
So
heathens?
it was 1095 to 1291.
Oh yeah, it was like 1100s
So
ish,
like,
11th
so you
century.
picture that. So now you go there and you conquer that, and now word spreads
Mm-hmm.
that you know the Christian Church defeated the Muslims for the Holy Land,
It was all powerful.
and now they take it. Christianity spreads like wildfire through all of Europe, and then it's just a never-ending cycle of then the Muslims come back and take it over,
Well,
and then they come back and do it again, and
if you
then
look at it, really, it's no different than pushing a political agenda.
mhm,
You know, like except you're calling it religion
you
instead of
know,
politics.
yeah. But the one good thing that at least for parts of the time, especially in Jerusalem itself, is that whenever it was controlled by if it was controlled by the Christians or if it was controlled by the Muslims, everyone was still allowed
To live there.
to still live there as far as their own religion.
Mm-hmm.
They were just broken off into sectors. Like there was the Jews lived here, the Muslims lived here, and the Christians lived here.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the one thing about it where it's like, okay, they conquered it, but they weren't forcing people
To convert.
to convert. It's like, hey, look, this is all of our holy land, but
So
we want to
like
conquer it too.
basically they're fighting over the deed for the land.
Yeah, they were fighting over control of the actual
That's fucking.
place.
I
And
know we're
like,
not supposed to say this, but that's fucking retarded, dude.
yeah, you know, and it's weird because like how the Muslims have their um, what is it the journey to Mecca, where
Mm.
when you're every Muslim's supposed to go to Mecca
It's kind of like a
to
rite of
pray
passage.
once.
Yeah.
Like I would love to go to Jerusalem and see it. I just think it'd be amazing.
You want to
Like,
go to the Holy Land?
yeah, I think it'd be very interesting to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about like, dude, like, going there and then you just
Let me jot that down.
seeing is what has been
Kyle
there.
wants to commit suicide.
Oh, shut up. What? Why would that be such a bad thing to go there and see?
You wouldn't want to go during time of war.
Well, no, I wouldn't want to go there now.
Yeah.
They stopped playing those fucking "Come Visit Israel" commercials that they were playing on Hulu.
Yeah.
We were watching every time we would watch movies. There would be like, "Come to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem for like travel."
Yeah.
That shit stopped
Yeah.
last month. That
Yeah.
ain't going on no more.
Now you got the Stop Jew Hate ads.
Yeah, I know.
So that shit switched.
And that's another thing, dude. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand hate in general. Like, family pasts. Like my family in the past had their own hate towards people who I am not affiliated with.
Yeah.
I've never met those people who are involved in that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like I never understood it. Like I never understood growing up and people, how different groups of people hated other groups of people just because of
Their beliefs.
their beliefs or what they look like.
Yeah.
I just that shit doesn't make sense to me. Like if I'm not gonna like you,
Yeah.
you need to give me a reason not to like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know there's people I don't like because they're pieces of shit, and that's why I don't like them.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do
But
with
you
any.
know they're pieces of shit.
Yes,
It's
but
not like you just randomize like
it's not like I looked
a
at that
group of
guy and I'm
people.
like, oh, that dude I don't like. Why?
Yeah.
Look at him. Like I didn't. That's not just what I never felt
Yeah.
that way.
No, like you could look at someone and be like, oh, they look kind of sketchy, maybe,
Mhm.
but because I mean, there's stereotypes, obviously, and there's a fame that comes with those
Oh yeah.
stereotypes, but that doesn't like I remember